I honestly think, based on what I've seen with like ETH in the past, where like we have that awareness phase, and then like DeFi summer, or like the 2017 ICO season. That's kind of what it feels like we're in right now with Solana.
So we discussed where we are in the market. We discussed what we should be doing right now, which is accumulating. Let's go through your list now and dissect some of these chains and some of the numbers that you have. Because you not only talk about what altcoins you like, but you also talk about at what point you would want to buy them. And so I want to go through that list and try to get an understanding of how you came to those numbers.
Okay, sure. All right. So this is the post. So yeah, basically it's goes through a bunch of assets. The assets chosen here are mostly BTC ETH and all L1s. There's a bunch of other assets, like some DeFi assets that I like at the bottom, but the majority of the things you want to focus on right now, I would say, are like BTC ETH and L1s, because those are shoe-in guarantees to be around. That's what you want to look at first and foremost with like choosing something. You need to, when you choose an asset, you need to make sure it's going to be in the next bull run. As long as it's in the next run, you're gonna be up money, like almost like 90 something percent. You're gonna be up some amount of money if you just choose like any of these major assets, right? The smaller assets, there's just a million things that can go wrong with them. The teams could decide to stop. Like let's say the bull run, contrary to popular belief, we don't have to have like a 3-year cycle exactly. If let's say we don't have a real bull run, like a crazy 10x plus in market cap bull run for 5 to 10 years, but we do have it, say like 6 or 7 years, like after 6 years post like 2021, so say 2027, that's when it happens. There could be some project that you like that they just stop working on it because they get bored or they run out of money, right? So I'm choosing things where I know they have like the money, the community, they have everything in place, and they'll almost definitely be around as long as there's no major Terra Luna like events that happen here. So yeah, so the way that I'm coming to I have like the bottom, like what the actual bottom is, and then where like a good buy would be. The first thing to like note about the prices is that like we have never gone below, like when we have a bull bear like 2021, 2022, when we have like a bear market, in the following neutral period or pre-bull period, we never go below like how bad it got in the bear. Like the actual bear market is as bad as it gets. Like the bear market that's in the following year after a bull run, you hit like the bottom of the bottom in terms of prices. So that kind of gives you an idea of like, where is the bottom here? Like, let's just use AVAX because it's the first L1 I have on the list. You can see like that after this big boom here, it drops down, right? Things got the most bearish, like in this period, like say December 2022. And I think we hit like about $10, $8 to $10 in here, right? And that kind of turned out to be the overall, like sometimes we went a little higher to $20, but then when we go back down and we have like a little bearish period, like 2023, which I would consider like a neutral period, right? We kind of hit this bottom again of like $8 to $10 that we hit in the bear market. Arguably, we could have went a little lower because there's a bit of inflation, right? So like in terms of market cap, we did go lower, like a tiny bit lower. But yeah, so yeah, that's you kind of can get an idea of the bottom by looking at that. And then as far as an actual good price to buy, yeah, you kind of just look at the bottom, like say the bottom is $8, the top here is $54. Now we're sitting at like 30. It's very unlikely that you're actually going to snipe it at like $8 or $10. So I wouldn't even, I wouldn't really try. But in that like $10 to $20 range is where you're like eyeing, and we can go back there. We almost just did if we make the chart kind of a little bit smaller here. We went to like 20. We almost dropped in the $20 range, which I would consider like sub 22 or so. I think I put 22, 23. Yeah. So this good buy range, I would buy at anything in this good buy range. I actually did buy in this buy range after I did this post. We did drop into this good buy range for almost all these assets on the list, and I actually did buy a bit, which was hopefully pretty decent as far as like long-term buys. But
Tyler,
yeah,
how many of these good buy zones are still active? Because we obviously had a little run the last week or so.
yep.
How many of these are still in play?
We're slightly above like the good buy range, I think, for almost everything. Like say I put like under 35 cents and we're at like 37 cents. So like the thing I would keep in mind is like if you buy now, you're just not you're not going to be buying like if you buy at $30 AVAX, right? You'll probably be up in the like you'll be up in the next even the next bull period. We should go into like the 30s, and especially in the next bull run, we will break out of the 30s into like the 40s and beyond. But you're not going to be buying the bottom if you're buying $30 AVAX. Like you're just not. We naturally do these like fluctuations, like sine wave fluctuations, every few months in crypto, and we will drop, say, like to $22 or like $15. We will go into that range, and then we will come back up and maybe push up to like 35, 37. That's just natural crypto fluctuations. So yeah, like, but you don't always need to buy the bottom. Sometimes just accumulating, like maybe DCAing, right, is what I recommend sometimes. Just putting a little in, just to get your foot in the door in some of these assets. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out like something like say at like 37 cents, because it's new, or like, let me see what Sui is at. Yeah, 81 cents. Yeah, it's like just everything is just outside the range. Like me personally, if I would take the majority of my money and have it in USDC and be trying to wait a little bit to enter, but just a little bit.
How do you view some of these earlier altcoins like Aptos, Sui, and like the amount of tokens that are actually circulating right now versus how much are not unlocked just yet? Does any of that scare you? I know that like Solana was in that stage, last cycle, but
Yeah.
now it's a lot safer. So you almost have to bet that these altcoins are going to be around like the next few bull cycles, right?
Yeah, actually, CoinMarketCap just did something really useful. They just implemented a feature that has where you can see the token unlocks, and I thought this was incredibly useful for users, because you can kind of click this and you can see how much is locked, how much is unlocked. You can basically see everything on here, and you can see like when the unlock events are coming, and yeah, and you can see exactly how much is being unlocked on what date. And actually, it does scare me in the way some of them do unlocks. Like for instance, Arbitrum. I like Arbitrum, and I think it's great and really fast. And it's just useful and all that, right? But in terms of tech wise, it's fine. In terms of tokenomics, though, they just had like the largest unlock. Look at this. Look at the size. So you can see what happens when there's an unlock. Arbitrum is probably the best example. They had like almost a $2 billion unlock. It was a $1 billion unlock, and their market cap was already $1 billion. So they doubled their market cap with the unlock temporarily. And look what happens in this case. Let's go to the all-time graph. Okay. So what happens is like the price can be kind of trending up, and then here's where the unlock happens. Now this is not a price graph. This is a market cap graph. So when an unlock happens, so yeah, it was $2 billion, right? And then suddenly it instantly goes to, so it was a $2 billion market cap, $2 billion unlock. Suddenly the market cap doubles, right? But the price at this exact date, it does not double. The price actually doesn't move at all when there's an unlock. And to kind of compensate for all those new tokens that are added into circulation, what ends up happening to the price, which was like sitting at $2, is a ton of people, because a market, you can't just increase a coin's market cap by just like putting a bunch of new coins into circulation. What ends up happening is some percentage of those users is going to sell, of course, and that destroys your price, but it actually keeps market cap the same when all that selling occurs. I know it sounds weird. So like what ends up happening is, look at this, like Arbitrum's market cap before and after the unlock is exactly the same. But if you had Arbitrum, right, so at 2 billion and it's about 2 billion still. But how the holders get screwed over here is it was $1.60 or $2, and then now it's at 78 cents. So like by doubling the market cap, you have the price. that's really scary for holders, and it's totally avoidable. And you could be so you need to be looking at these token unlocks. Like I wouldn't even hold Arbitrum because of the way they structured their unlock events like that, or the way they did that one in particular. That was just too much. Maybe they didn't predict that the coin would be worth such a high market cap. I don't know. But yeah, so definitely something to look out for.
So if you're looking at Arbitrum, or you like the tech, you like the partnerships that they're forming, I mean, are you at this point just waiting for more of the unlocks and waiting for that digital asset to mature before jumping in?
Yeah, exactly. You can just wait until all the unlocks are done, and then once that happens, you're pretty much safe to enter if you like the tech. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing with Arbitrum.
So, and this also, a good question here then is, since you're a founder, how do you navigate this, right? Because on one hand, you need money in order to develop the smart contracts. Like you're a developer yourself, you're a founder. So how do you view all of this? Like you don't want to screw over the people that are investing in your token. So how are you viewing this? Like how do you structure your unlocks?
Oh yeah, I'm actually doing this exact thing right now. That's a good question, and it's complicated. What you're weighing in your head is how fast can I grow my coin's market cap, or just so the market cap is the overall growth of the project, right? How fast can I grow it? And then you want to kind of put the unlocks, like let's say you think you can like get your coin, like basically you want the growth of the coin to outpace the speed of unlocks, and if you can do that, then you'll have overall growth. If you're unable to if you put your unlocks like all in a really short area, like you're like, oh, I want everyone to have their tokens like within a year, and you unlock all of those tokens in the first year, there's no way you're going to outpace that. You're just not going to, almost definitely, unless you really hit it big. But you can't bank on that as a founder. So like kind of what I'm doing is I'm structuring it so that the unlocks are monthly. And so there's not like any one gigantic unlock that could screw people over potentially. So monthly unlocks, so it's kind of balanced, and over like either 2-year or a 3-year period. Yeah, so as long as you're willing to commit to working on a project long term, I think like 2 years or 3 years is a reasonable time frame for unlocks. And it's possible, assuming you raise money and investors have tokens and such. And if you're the team, as long as you're not doing a huge amount of selling, arguably you don't want to do any selling if your price is having some like issue. Like if your price is having some issues with the investor unlocks, you don't want to sell at all, because then you're gonna just add fuel to the decreasing fire. So yeah, you have to be very careful with how you structure this. But yeah, over a long period of time is the way to do it.
Let's go back to that list. So you have like Avalanche, you have Say on there, Aptos, let's see, Sui. So you like the move language. What is it about this new technology that you really like? Because there's really not a lot of development happening just yet. We just got done talking about where are the users, and they're mostly on Ethereum, Solana, maybe Avalanche a little bit, but those altcoins, like those networks like Aptos, Sui, while they seems to be very promising from a tech perspective, I hear great things about Sui and how their UX experience is like amazing. But
yeah,
how are you viewing these from like a development perspective?
So with these ones, these are kind of all in the same phase of like they haven't even gotten their like awareness, like, oh wow, there's 1 million users downloading wallets type thing. They haven't had that yet. They're just in their like small, tight-knit niche community phase of like, and they have a small group of niche builders. I kind of have seen Say and Sui as kind of the main ones, the main new like 2024 like golden boys of like of building right now. And I wouldn't be like, the reason I put all these on here is sometimes it's tough to tell exactly which one will win like right now when there's really only a bull run happening on like what I would call like Solana's, right? Like Sol bull run, right? So I think establishing a portfolio with a little of all these L1s is just a good idea. That's it. Like you don't. If you gamble on a single L1, like you say, I love Aptos or like Sui, and you just kind of go all in on it, you may be missing out on. You may be missing something that may end up erupting in the future. And yeah, so I think spreading out amongst the L1s is definitely the way to go here. Yeah.
Got it. Your list is pretty thorough and long, and we haven't even like touched on DeFi, which I want to get to in a future episode.
Yeah.
But last question for you, Tyler. Based on what we discussed, the networks that we touched on, the altcoins that we discussed, what is your bold prediction for the rest of 2024?
Oh, bold prediction. That's all right. So I think that we could very well see a real boom on Solana. I guess it's good I pulled the graph up. A real boom, like where you see how you initially boom up here and then you kind of go sideways a little bit and then you have this huge push up. I honestly think, based on what I've seen with like ETH in the past, where like we have that awareness phase and then like DeFi summer or like the 2017 ICO season. That's kind of what it feels like we're in right now with Solana. There's like this like celebrity attention that's kind of coming in. There's like meme coins. It feels very much like we are in a like bull summer almost. And I would not be surprised if we see like solely on Solana, like the other L1s will benefit from it and they will rise as well, of course. But Solana, I think really will be like the leader here in potentially pushing to like 300, 400, maybe 500. I wouldn't. 500 is really bold. I would just say like 300, maybe 350. I think we could see that and a really hard push up and a really big explosion of like maybe more celebrities getting involved or more attention or more dApps or more infrastructure. All of that kind of just culminating into a huge push. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I'm not some Solana. I like Solana. I'm not like this huge Solana fanboy or anything. I'm just going based on what I've seen like in the past.
So Solana right now is pretty much like a retail chain, right? You got a lot of meme coins on there. You've got some deep end plays as well, like some infrastructure plays. But if you're trying to front run the Solana narrative, you're looking at the Solana ETF potentially getting approved. Who knows? But if you're sold on Solana and you want to front run that narrative, and what applications, like what kind of projects are you looking at on Solana?
Yeah. So Solana's situation is a little bit interesting. It's mostly like if you want to make money short term, it's meme coins, believe it or not. And even if you're not into them, it's kind of like you need to know someone or have connections and you need to get in early. You kind of want to look at like meme coins that have big communities because they are going to like, there are meme coins that are going to like $1 billion market cap. But in terms of actual building, the stuff that I actually really like and look for, you have things like Jupiter. Like think about like who's building the infrastructure for all of this. Like what do meme coins need? Well, they need liquidity. So maybe there'll be some DeFi farming apps that kind of spawn up. We've seen this in the past on Ethereum. Like they may need lending, right? So like, or just coins it, like anything on Solana in general. Like there could be like lending platforms where people lend out their soul, and then you can kind of like you can gamble essentially on soul by like shorting or longing it, and doing that with some of the larger soul assets as well. So these things are being built on soul, like this infrastructure. So looking for these dApps and things, it would be a good idea if you're trying to take advantage of what potentially could be coming.
So are there any specific applications that are appealing to you right now? You mentioned Jupiter. You like Jupiter over Raydium?
Yeah, Raydium is kind of unusable, and I've had such laggy, like it's, I can't even go into like serious detail about it, but like I've tried launching like coins on Raydium like for fun and such, and like things like you can't even like add or remove like your liquidity if you wanted to, like it just won't even appear there for some reason. You'll go to make a buy and like it just, things won't work even though you set all the settings right. Raydium is just, it's not the way to go. I don't know why it has such issues, but it does. So a lot of people are coming up with like other solutions. I forget, there's like another name that people use for it's like this strange website. Anyone who's active on Solana will know exactly what I'm talking about, but they use it for trading like really fast, and it's really a much better trading platform than either Solana, either Raydium or Jupiter. But I use Jupiter personally. I think it's good. So yeah, I don't even have any specific applications in mind, like on Solana to look at. Like I'm not a Solana ecosystem expert. I do have like a list of them somewhere in my notepad of like Solana DeFi apps that I like and that I like look at, but I wouldn't say like any are specifically standing out to me. Someone who's like really active on Solana or building on Solana would have a much better, like I would seek to ask someone someone that I know that is really active on Solana about this rather than like advising on it myself, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why Ansem is gaining so much popularity, because he kind of rose up with Solana. But
Yes.
Tyler, this was very interesting because you were kind of like both sides of the coin, so to speak, no pun intended. You're an investor and also you are a builder, so you look at it from both angles, which is very unique as a guest on the show. So this was very worth the time. And like I said, I want to have you back on to talk about DeFi. Maybe we can dive deeper into those applications that you really like on Solana, and then also. We haven't even scratched the surface about Lotto Finance and SapientPro. So I would certainly love to dive deeper into that. But where can people, if they want to follow along on your journey as a builder, as an investor, like where can they find you?
The two things that I'm kind of working on are Lotto Finance is it's a like unique. We built this like lottery token where a entire lottery is built into this token. It's the first ever like lottery token, and the way it works is like Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. 10 tokens are pulled from, like if you hold Lotto, 10 tokens are pulled from every Lotto holder's account automatically, pooled together, and then all of it is just given to one random user. So it's like the only token in the whole space that you can hold, and the price doesn't even need to change, and you can make a huge amount of Lotto, but money, because you can just sell it, right, if you win. So that's kind of how it works, and you can go to lotto.finance to take a look at that. We're building like Lotto V2. It's still on testnet right now, but will be coming out in the coming months. And then the other thing that I work on is SapientPro. It's a crypto development company. We do all sorts of dev. We do like e-commerce as well. But if you're building crypto apps, I kind of like to apply my expertise to helping people build. And we do everything from like NFTs, DeFi, all of that. We build from scratch. We can help you. We have everything. Like we have all resources to kind of make it happen. We have designers, right? So we can help take like your project from like idea to like implemented and launched. And I have a bunch of like connections as well to like help with that and all that. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll be sure to include the links in the description. But
yes,
go ahead. I think there was something else you wanted to add.
Yeah, and the website for that is sapientpro.com. That's it.
SapientPro.com. Yeah, I'll be sure to include that as well. Thanks again, Tyler. So this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Mikhail.